Thank you for tuning in. I Can Get Your Fly TV show where you tune in for business after beauty school education for the enthusiastic, ambitious student who wants to make a six-figure year income rather than just a standard 20K per year. I'm your host. Getting my Instagram together so I can go live on Instagram as well. What up, Tiff? What's up, Aunt? How's everybody doing today? Today's episode, the series that I've been talking about is Go Get Celebrated. Now, why is it important that you want to go where you're celebrated? Well, you want to go where people respect you, where people love and care about you, and you want to go where you appreciate it. Why is it good to go where you loved and cared for and appreciate it? It makes your job a lot easier. Why? Well, because the love and passion that you have on the inside of you and the love and passion that the people feel after they sit down in your chair, they feel well respected. They feel well cared for. And what happens? How does it make you feel? You love doing your job. You love doing the best that you can do. And what happens when you do it? When you do the best job you can do and they feel the love coming from you, they feel the best service that they have coming from you, and they feel appreciated, they feel cared for. And what happens after that? Then they begin to go tell other people about what just happened. Now, why is it good to go where you're celebrated? It's good to go where you're celebrated because you are seen as valuable. And things that have value have a place in this world. And so you, as an individual, when you operate out of the feeling of love and care, when you're doing something that you love to do, people begin to feel that you go the extra mile. You want to make sure a person's appearance or whatever it is that you're doing, that they feel the love and appreciation coming from you. And what happens? Love always beget love. A wise book once told me that, and I've experienced that. There have been times when I've been cutting and styling in my chair and caring for an individual, and they might have paid a certain amount for a service, and I might have went over and beyond what they paid for. For instance, I got a client, he's a manager, and he's typically receiving around here, right? And so I don't charge him for extra bells and whistles. I want to make sure he look good and clean because he's a manager. He represents his brand when he goes into work every day. And he's a husband and he's a father, and he's a very well-rounded guy. And so whenever he sits down in my chair, I go the extra mile. I want to make sure his head look completely bald because he's balding around here. I want to make sure his face is nice and clean, so I get real close to the skin when I cut his hair. And I hit him with the aftershave, and we got a set price that I normally charge him. He knows what it is, and I don't charge him anything extra for the bells and whistles. Why? Because I care about how he look, and we have a rapport with each other. So as me and the gentleman are talking, I'm talking about some of the goals and how I love working with the community and working with some of the young men in the community and talking to them about life. We get into a conversation, and as I'm talking to him about some of my goals and some of my experience with talking to the young men, we get on a conversation and talk about how the barbershop is a key cornerstone in any environment where males go. Why? Because we, as men, are always going to the barbershop, talking about life, watching sports games, bonding. That's where we get a lot of our wisdom and our code of ethics. I remember when I was a child going to Dave's barbershop on the west side off MLK in Holdermont. And Mr. Dave, he was ex-military. He would get to the shop real early. He would cut the shop on. Shop would be warmed up because sometimes it would be cold. In the summertime, it would be real hot. And he always had that blow pop waiting for me when I got in the chair. After I became an age and got familiar with him, I never cried, none of that. He had been cutting my hair since I was like 2, 3 years old. And he just was a cool older gentleman with glasses, ex-military, clean-cut guy, kept his shop nice, was always respectable and well respected in the community. Dave's Barbershop on MLK and Holdermont. It's like the early 80s. I'm like 2 years old going to his barbershop. My little brother had got his hair cut in the barbershop, and he had hair all the way down to here. My brother didn't even cry. I walked up to him, was watching my little brother get his hair cut, got him a nice clean cut. My little brother used to have hair all the way down to here. And Mr. Dave cut his hair. And so, my early experiences for me being a child going to the barbershop and talking with Mr. Dave and him asking how my schoolwork was and, having little gifts for me when my schoolwork was right. And I was obedient to my mom. And, it means something to a young man when somebody care about him. So I was talking to my older client, it's a manager. And I was talking to him about how I like to volunteer my time in the community and talking about some of the conversations I had with some of the young men. And as I was talking to him, I was telling him, I said, man, like love always begets love. And I was like, the barbershop is the cornerstone for any male dominated environment because we always got to get our hair cut and look fresh when we go out. And that's how we exchange information in the barbershop. And I said, man, that's like the key to solving a lot of problems in the city. And I was like, man, it's just something about, man, when you show love and how I come back. And he just started grinning. It's one thing to have a physical heart, but it's another thing for your spiritual heart. Your spiritual heart and your physical heart is one. And I was like, man, when I said, when you show love, love always come back. And I said, love begets love. Then I said, give and it shall come back to you. Good measures pressed down, shaken together, running over shall men give into your bosom. I said, where your bosom? I said, your bosom right here. It's where your heart is. And he started laughing. And I started laughing out of nowhere too. And it let me know, like, love is a frequency. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you display and show. And it begins to show in your work and your work ethic and your character. And the brother went in his pocket and he tipped me an extra $10 for the service that we got a set price for. And that was love, And so when you show love to the clients that sit down in your chair, when you show love to the people that you're servicing in the community and whatever job it is, whatever skill trade you have, I'm talking about the barber beauty field because that's the field I'm in. They can feel the love coming from you, okay? And when they feel the love coming from you, it begins to transform to them. And when they begin to receive the love always begets love. What does that mean? It could be financial. It could be a favor. It could be someone showing genuine warmth and care for you. And you begin to celebrate. Now, why do you begin to celebrate these things? Well, when you become thankful for the little things, when you become thankful for just the little small things that happen, just the small things that happen, the little things begin to get magnified and get bigger. And which takes me on today's episode. You want to celebrate while you're working on your goals. I have goals that I work on every day. And these daily goals turn into weekly goals. These weekly goals turn into monthly goals. These monthly goals turn into yearly goals. And why do these goals begin to blouse over into the month, into the day, month, year? Why? Because you have things you have to do. And if you do these things according to how your plan is, your plan will begin to be implemented and you will be successful in what it is you're doing. Sometimes it just takes time in order for things to happen. Like, for instance, one of my short-term goals is to get educated in a particular type of hairstyle. And I'm doing everything I can to work towards that particular type of education because there's some hairstyles that I really want to learn how to do. And that's completely different than barbering. Okay. And these particular hairstyles that I really want to learn how to do is a skill that no one can take away from you once you learn and master them. And it's really good to become a master of your goals as you begin to master your craft. And the way you master them is you have to practice them. You have to work on them day in and day out. And I remember when I was a little younger and I was playing basketball and I had to learn how to master dribbling, and it wasn't easy. Because when I first started learning how to dribble the basketball, I didn't really know how to dribble between my legs, and I would try because the ball was almost bigger than me when I was little. And as I began to try, and I had to hold one leg open and put the ball between my leg and bounce it, I had to figure out where the ball was supposed to bounce. And so as you're practicing your craft in the beauty field, in the barbering field, you're going to realize some things that you're not very good at. And so what does that mean? It means that the things that you're not very good at, you have to practice until you begin to master it. So that means you got to do it over and over again until you figure out what you did right, what you did wrong. And when it starts to look better, you lean over towards the side where you begin to do things right. You stop doing the wrong things that cause you the mistakes and errors from when you're doing the cut or style that you wasn't very good at. And so why do you do that? You do that because you want to master your craft. Why do you want to master your craft? You want to be a master of everything you do. I tip my hat off to Master P. And Master P is one of my mentors. When I first learned about Master P, it was 1992. I was going to Sound Revolution on Chambers and in Moline. And I was just going and buying a whole bunch of records. And The reason why I was buying these records is because I wanted to open up my sound base for the music I was listening to. Because in '92, I was listening to Shaquille O'Neal and the Fushnikins, and I was listening to Criss Cross, and the sound of music was changing. I was listening to a lot of East Coast music. Candy Rain was out. You know that song, My Love, Do You Ever Dream of Candy Coated Raindrop? So I like that song. So it's 92, 93. I'm going through Sound Revolution. I'm listening to all the little songs out, the radio bumping. I have friends that work for the radio station, and I'm just going through the little records, and I see Master P. And I see a record that say The Ghetto Trying to Kill Me. And I say, oh, this look interesting. So I say, Mom, look, I'm finna go buy this record. My mom like, you want to buy that? She look at the back and see parental advisory. She like, I don't know about that. I said, Mom, it's all right. So I went on ahead and bought it. I popped the CD and I listened to it from the top to the bottom. I said, who is this Master P guy? This is 1992. Who is this Master P guy? The Ghetto Trying to Kill Me. That was the first record that I had. And then after I got the Ghetto Trying to Kill Me, and then I got Ghetto Dope. That was the next record that I had bought. And on TV on the box, he had his song Ice Cream Man was bumping and playing then. I'm like, who is this Ice Cream Man? What's he talking about? You hear the little ice cream truck sound. Dun, 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 dun. I'm like, what is this? I'm listening to the record. I'm like, I don't know. I listened to it. I'm like, oh, it's kind of dope. It got a lot down south swag, kind of remind you of Rap a Lot, Scarface. I'm like, okay. My uncle used to bump King T and Scarface all the time. I'm used to NWA. My uncle used to bump NWA, Scarface, King T. What else he used to bump? He used to bump Ghetto Boys, Ice-T, Ice Cube. My uncle used to bump all that. And so my uncle was like one of my earlier mentors. I used to walk around when he would take his little jacket off and have his little shoes. I'm like, I would walk into the room. I would put his coat on. He had big old huge high school football rings and college ring from when he won Super Bowls. When he was in high school and college, I would go up in the room and put his rings on and flossing his rings and put his jacket on and be like, man, I'm my uncle. And stand in the mirror like this, right? Cut his music on, bump his music. Man, I would be like in heaven. Why? Because my uncle was like one of my earlier role models. Why? He was around, man. He was a good guy. And so I'm like, who is this Master P? So I'm listening to Master P, then another song come out, Ghetto Dope, and this sound of music just changed. And I'm like, what is this? And so like as I'm buying these records and I'm listening to them, I'm starting to hear this sound of music that's way different. And then I began to read up on Master P, and then boom, you seen the legacy for 10 years, became a millionaire, right? But no one ever really know like how he started. And so how did Master P start? Master P started from having goals, and he started from a dream and a vision, and he started from having an idea, and he used the surroundings that was around him in order to make him extremely wealthy, but not only him, but the community around him. And so that's why I always kind of look at Master P as a mentor, because he kind of gave you the blueprint. What's the blueprint? The blueprint is a system of ideas and techniques that were used to get from one starting point to an ending point. Now, why is it good to always pay attention to the blueprint? It's always good to pay attention to the blueprint, because the blueprint is a manual for success. And you want to be successful. And why do you want to be successful? You want to be successful because don't nobody like living in poverty. Let's be honest. God did not make us to live in poverty. He did not make us to live beneath our means and below our means. Some of the societies and places that we live at are created like that for a reason, in order for us to produce the wrong type of fruit. And so why am I saying this? I'm saying this because you can be in the environment, but you don't have to be of that environment. And you can be in that environment and change that environment and lead that environment and grow. And so why is it good to celebrate while you're working on your goals? It's good to celebrate while you're working on your goals, because Your goals is going to take you to your next level. Your goals is going to take you to beyond where you at. Your goals is going to take you to a higher level further down the line from where you at. At the Custom Conversation service project, where we go and communicate with young men and give them a nice haircut and talk to them about life and have real conversation with them. I was talking with a young man that said that he wanted to be a boxer. To him, and I was like, young man, so how old are you? He said, man, I'm in 8th grade. I said, okay, so you probably about 13, 14 years old. He said, yeah. I said, man, so, what you want to do with yourself? He said, man, I want to box. I was like, all right, what else you want to do? He said, man, I want to play basketball. I said, that's cool. I said, how your grades in school? He said, they're okay. He said, I got a couple C's and D's. I said, okay, we need to bring the grades up. I say, all right, who your favorite boxer? He said, Floyd Mayweather. I said, do you know Floyd Mayweather? Do you know some of his story? I said, man, you should look him up. You should study him. He okay, all right. And I say, man, do you know how he promotes his fights? He said, no. I said, man, brother, if you want to be a boxer, you got to learn how to promote your own fights. You got to learn how to count your money. I said, do you know that Floyd Mayweather can't read? He said, no, I ain't know that. And I said, that's a good brother. Floyd Mayweather is a real good brother. But I said, brother, you want to learn how to read. I said, because if you know how to read your contracts, you'll know if somebody's stiffing you or not. You'll know how to count your money. He was like, yeah, that's right. And, I tip my hat off to Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather did some phenomenal things in the boxing community, and I tip my hat off to him, good brother, But I was telling the younger brother, man, you got to learn how to read. You got to stay up on your reading. You got to stay up on because if you know how to read, you can get anything you want in life because you know how to read and you know how to understand what you're reading. He was like, all right, cool. And so them small conversations equal big things. And so why am I talking about this? Well, I'm talking about this because you want to celebrate while you're working on your goals. And so sometimes your goals, you might have a goal on your list where it say, this might take a week, but it might take a couple months. And so even though there's a delay in how long it takes for you to accomplish that goal, you want to celebrate. Why you want to celebrate? You want to celebrate every time you get a chance because you're alive. You got the activity of your limbs, your mouth work, your eyes can see, your brain can think, you can hear, you alive. You need to celebrate every time you wake up. Why? Because some people didn't wake up in the morning. And then just the mere fact that you are able to pursue your goals and get up and you not locked up or you're not confined, you can get up and pursue the things you're thinking about is a blessing as well. So you need to celebrate because of that. And so when you begin to celebrate and become thankful, there's a level of energy that's beginning to exude into your body. And this level of energy that begins to exude into your body begins to give you more life. And so when you celebrate while you're working on your goals, even though you haven't completely made it yet, while you're working on it, you're beginning to birth out the very thing you're thinking about. You're beginning to birth out the very thing that your heart is saying needs to be done to solve problems that you see. And so as you begin to celebrate while you're solving these problems and you marking off the goals off the list and you implementing your plan and your strategy to be successful, as you celebrate, you getting more energy, more life, more drive to pursue your goal. And as you begin to pursue these goals, it gives you the power to win and succeed in whatever it is that you're going to do. And I want to see you win. Why I want to see you win? Because I'm winning. And we ain't designed to stop and lose. We ain't losing. And even when you reach for a goal and you fail, as long as you get back up, dust yourself off and keep on working, you learn something in the process and you keep on going until you win. Failure, you only begin to fail when you begin to quit and you begin to give up. But when you begin to get up and you begin to look up to where your help comes from, your help comes from above. And that's why I say you be an eagle. Eagles don't got predators. Eagles soar up high above all type of predators, snakes, rodents, wolves, tigers, bears, lions. Eagles soar up above that. You an eagle. What's an eagle? Eagle dream and think on a whole nother level. That's a whole nother mind state. I'm Stylist John with Business After Beauty School Education for the enthusiastic, ambitious student who wants to make a six-figure year income rather than a standard 20K per year. I'm your host. Today's lesson was celebrate while you're working on your goals. And while you're working on your goals, you want to make sure that you set up your daily weekly and monthly goals, and you want to be able to have them on a list to where you can scratch them off on the list until you reach your end result. And while you're working on this end result, you want to rebuild your credit. Why you want to rebuild your credit? You want to rebuild your credit because your credit is you. What is you? You are your word, and your word is basically your credit. And when your credit is A1, you can literally go into the lot where they sell cars, and you can leave the lot with a car without putting no money down. You can go to the bank and say, hey, I need a loan for this. You can say, no, I want to mortgage a house. And you can say, I need a loan for this. And you can go and you can get that by having A1 credit. Justine Peterson off of Graham near Grandale Square has a program where they help you repair your credit. Now, they don't just take everything off the list for things you owe, but they help you repair it. How do they help you repair it? Well, by one, getting a secured credit or debit card where you can make payments on there and you build a line of credit and your credit score begins to increase. And then you write a letter to the credit reporting agencies for any debt that you may have. And they begin to report and take away any old debts that you have that just may be on there lurking. Okay. And then the debts where you know you owe, you start making payment arrangements to pay them back, and your credit score begins to increase. When your payment score begins to increase, your credit score begins to increase. Okay. And so while you restoring your credit and you're working on your goals and you're celebrating, you also want to give back to your community. So to any barbers, any beauticians that happen to see this video, or any students that would like to come and participate for a service project, come down to 1401 LaSalle and participate in Cuts and Conversations. If you need some information, you can inbox me or email me or call me, and I'll provide you some more information. Any of my barber friends that happen to be watching this that love working with the community, love working with youth like I do, get at me, contact me. Cuts and Conversation Service Project. We normally do it the first Monday of the month from 4 to 6 p.m. It's a great time. It's some great young men that we see at the events for children 15 and under. They get a nice little snack, something to coat their stomach, some pizza, some chips, soda, juice, water, great music. Have a nice conversation with a young man or young lady in order to assist them with furthering their life and help them with the hygiene and maintain their nice, charming look. And we had giveaways. I believe we had little gift bags we gave out last time. But great community service event. Man, come on out. Reach one, teach one, right? You build a legacy by leaving a legacy behind with information that you leave behind to the younger generation so they can come up some, right? And there's nothing wrong with mentoring. A lot of the young men need mentors. They need role models, people they can look up to, someone that can assist them with just everyday life and someone that cares. And it's good to have more men around, younger men that may not have a older brother or a father figure around just to talk to, you know? And you definitely want to help end homelessness. Why you want to end homelessness? Because did y'all hear about the 3 people that died in Chicago when it was like 0 degrees below? It kind of hurt my heart. And I feel as though, with all these abandoned buildings that we have, and as cheap as heaters are, and the electric company, giving a break on people that may be homeless, we can buy a building and put heaters in there and have heated spots in vacant buildings. We can take like one building or a couple of them and gut it out on the inside and put a fireplace on the inside, with dust around it, where they can just put logs in there and stay warm in one room and insulate the room with plastic so they can stay warm. It wouldn't be too much skin off the city's back to have, in areas where there's predominantly a lot of homeless people, where they have like 5 or 6 houses, and these houses are, just for the wintertime when it's real cold, and, build a fireplace on the inside where they can stay warm and they can grill their food, with heated logs, or, have some companies that, when they chop down trees, they save a little extra wood and put the wood, inside the establishment for the people that's homeless, just so they can warm up themselves. Ain't nothing. If you've never been outside in 0 degree weather and hungry and had to use the bathroom with a whole bunch of bags, you know, if you never been in that situation, don't judge the homeless. You know, it's a worse feeling. Number one, carrying all your stuff on your back that you own. It's a worse feeling having to use the bathroom and being told that you can't go into certain bathrooms because you look homeless. And then on top of that, you got to use the bathroom. You carrying all these bags and you hungry. You know, the average politician that make over $100,000 a year cannot survive in that type of environment. The average individual that live out in West County somewhere that ain't used to poverty could not survive in that environment. So why would you, look at individuals that are surviving in these environments and terrains as outcasts of society? These people are loved. These people, have families. We should help these people instead of police writing citations and giving tickets for people trying to give them food and blankets. The police out there should be giving gift certificates and passing out gift certificates and stuff to help the people that got bags and instead of writing tickets for people trying to help them, the police should be giving food coupons out and should be trying to help the homeless instead of trying to write them tickets, especially when it's cold outside. They need to be giving out Chick-fil-A coupons and free donuts and free coffee to them so they can go get warm and stuff like that. And so I definitely want to help end homelessness. Anybody that's interested in partnering up and going to do some things a couple times a month just to go help out. A lot of us is 1 or 2 paychecks away from being homeless, and so how do you begin to help somebody? You first you begin to help yourself, but then you also begin to help other people with the little bit you got. God give you bread to eat and seed to sow. So if you got a whole loaf of bread, if you take 2 pieces off your loaf of bread and you begin to sow it to somebody else, you still can eat, but also you just help somebody else eat. That's a nugget of wisdom right there for you. And you want to be an eagle. What's an eagle? An eagle dreams and thinks on a whole nother level. To donate, go to www.gofundme.com/stylistjohn. Read the mission. Definitely want to help change some things in the community. I'm very big on education. I'm very big on once you know something, nobody can take it away from you. And so while you educating others, and you are acquiring a certain level of education, you begin to educate others and begin to assist them. Inbox me your email, contact number, best time to reach you if you have any questions. And for more tips, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Stylist John MUA. You can do a search or you can click the link. You can join my newsletter at www.stylistjohn.webs.com for business after beauty school education for the enthusiastic, ambitious student who wants to make a 6-figure year income rather than the standard 20K per year. I'm your host. Celebrate while you're accomplishing your goals. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a blessed day.